Hypixel Skyblock is a game filled with many non-playable characters, or NPCs for short. No matter what island you visit, an NPC will always be standing within your vicinity. However, not every NPC is alike. Some are just weak villagers who give you frankly outdated tips about the game. But what powerful entities lie on the opposite side of the spectrum? Well, there is one NPC that comes to mind, Maddox the Slayer. As a basic figure that only serves to give you Slayer quests, he may not seem that special at first. Well, be warned, as Maddox has a lot to hide, and he's quite frankly impacted the Skyblock timeline severely. However, before we get into this video of Skyblock lore, make sure to subscribe. It's free, helps me and my channel out a lot, and you can always unsubscribe if you want to. But with that being said, let's go over the mastermind behind Skyblock, Maddox the Slayer. To understand how powerful Maddox really is, we're going to have to go over the Slayers he can spawn. First up is the Revenant Horror. According to Maddox's description, it's an entity stuck between life and death, but other than that, doesn't seem to boast any other strengths or abilities. However, the usage of the word atoned on the Atoned Horror could back up some evidence that the Revenant Horror committed some form of terror during its life, being banished between living and dying for all of eternity as a punishment. Unfortunately, this is most likely a stretch. Sadly, as a step down, we encounter the Tarantula Broodfather as our next boss. Woo, it's two spiders on top of each other that jumps around. Pretty lame. The next boss doesn't impress anyone either. The Sven Packmaster is a wolf boss, and it's a rabid wolf genetically modified by a mad scientist. Although this may seem somewhat powerful or cool at first, it really becomes less cool when you think about it, and realize the Packmaster is really just a dog with beefed up stats. However, the real fun begins with the Void Gloom Seraph. Located in the End Island, it features health stats far above any other Slayer, and it even features its own cult, although that's for another video. The real main thing to point out is its description, as it states if Necron is the right hand of K-Man, the Dark Demigod is the left hand. Now, at the very least this means that the Void Gloom Seraph is equal in power with Necron himself. On the other hand, however, this could be literal, and the Seraph and K-Man could have interacted at some point in history. Either way, the Void Gloom Seraph has been proven to be a formidable boss, and that's not even the full extent of the power of Slayers. The Inferno Demon Lord is the newest Slayer boss, introduced in the Nether revamp. Unfortunately, other than raw stats, there isn't really too much evidence to prove its power level, as information about the boss is quite rare. It doesn't really matter anyways though, as from health and strength alone, the Blaze boss will rival the Void Gloom Seraph in destructive ability. And that way, it's pretty easy to see how powerful Slayers are, and how they could easily wreak havoc on the Skyblock universe. But this brings up several questions about Maddox as well, who has the entire ability to spawn said bosses. Why would he make players kill him indefinitely, and how did he get the powers to spawn Slayer bosses in the first place? Well, in order to solve these questions, we're going to need to look around the Skyblock Islands for clues. As an obvious statement, Maddox is located in the basement of the tavern, and is protected in a sense by the bartender. Now, we can assume they work together due to the Slayer potions that the bartender sells, which honestly explains a lot. Is Maddox just driven for wealth? Well, the evidence seems to point that way. He pays players to kill mobs, and for spending millions of coins you get the chance to spend even more money for the bartender's potion effects. So that's it. Maddox just wants money, right? Not exactly. If there's one important NPC we haven't talked to, it's Aatrox. As Maddox's brother, he has to have some important information on his relative, and luckily, upon checking his dialogue, there are some important lines to keep track of. Maddox is the brain, while Aatrox is the brawn. He will hunt down those who don't vote for him, and he knows why Maddox is hiding. Unpacking these messages requires to blend them all together into one cohesive narrative. First off, we can infer that Aatrox is involved in Maddox's ploys to get money. Yet again, there's no reason for Aatrox to threaten those who don't vote for him if he didn't have an ulterior motive. Since his mayor perks specialize with Slayers, you could also come up with the theory that Maddox is the one who came up with the idea for Aatrox to run for mayor. As the most important note, Aatrox knows why Maddox is hiding. This message definitively proves the bartender theory, but who could Maddox be hiding from? Well, in order to explain this statement, we're going to need to backtrack to the beginning. From the start, Maddox has always aimed to make profit. At first, he probably just got money from making people kill simple mobs like the graveyard zombies. However, we can assume that this method wasn't well liked by other NPCs, especially by dwarves like Talkur. So, in a hunt to get more customers, he discovered more and more powerful mobs throughout the Skyblock Islands. Most likely using dark magic, he sealed multiple enemies like the Void Gloom Seraph, intending to use them as a way to siphon money from experienced players. Unfortunately for him, organizations like the Mage Association caught on, and Maddox soon turned into a wanted criminal. This led him into the tavern, where he met the bartender. They made a pact to help the bartender become richer in exchange for Maddox's protection, and from there he became one of the richest NPCs in the game. However, we do know that this isn't the end of Maddox's schemes for wealth. He then hired his brother Aatrox to promote Slayers through the mayor elections so that even more players would participate in Slayer quests. This would explain why Aatrox knows why his brother is hiding. Maddox most likely explained the whole scheme to the mayor electorate. Of course, this plan worked, and even today Maddox stands at the top of the Skyblock hierarchy, for better or worse. From all the information presented, it's crystal clear that Maddox is one of the smartest NPCs in Skyblock. Not only has he gotten the entire player base to feed him money, but he's also gotten his brother into a secure position of power as well. Of course, this isn't the end for Maddox's ploys. In the future, he will most likely get players to fight even stronger mobs, making him even wealthier. Who knows, he could even try and make alliances with other NPCs throughout the Skyblock Islands, selling them even more brews and items for profit. There's really no way to know for sure. The only unfortunate part about this theory, however, is that there's no confirmed method of how Maddox managed to capture demigods like the Void Gloom Seraph and Inferno Demon Lord. Dark magic does work as an explanation for now, but as the game progresses over time, there may be better theories out there. But with that being said, I spent a lot of time making this video, so if you could subscribe, that would help me out a lot. Comment down below your theories and thoughts, and I'll see you guys next time.